Chavez on guitar.
All right, here's a song about faith.
Tom Lish and Randy Chavez on guitar.
I thought I was on guitar.
Hey everybody, my name is Bobby. Welcome to Mile High Church. Thank you so much for spending part of your weekend with us, especially if you're new. Our vision, Oneness Revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. Our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Before we get started today, we want to give you a look at a few things coming up around Mile High Church for you and your family. Spread kindness this holiday season by donating to our Harvest of Love food drive over the next 3 Sundays. Help bring hope to families through your heartfelt donations of non-perishable foods or monetary gifts. And navigating the holidays on November 9th is a grief support workshop, helping you find meaning and solace this holiday season after profound loss. Awe is often described as an ineffable experience, something difficult to articulate yet profoundly moving. Why find awe? Because it calms down the nervous system and releases feel-good neurotransmitters promoting bonding, trust, and love. Join us at Mile High Church to hear Dacher Keltner discuss awe, the new science of everyday wonder and how it can transform your life. For more information about anything you've heard today, stop by the Event Center or check us out online at milehighchurch.org.
Welcome Barry Ebert.
Good morning, you party animals. You ready to get up and move around a little bit? Here we go. All right.
Thank you, and good morning to all of you here in our beautiful Mile High Sanctuary. And good morning to all of you who are joining us online. I'm Reverend Zamira, and I am so grateful to be able to gather together today in this glorious fall weather. And I want to open with our vision and our mission so that we get anchored right there this morning, bringing it into our hearts. So let's do our vision and our mission together. Our vision, oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. You know, one of the teachings that I love from Dr. Ernest Holmes is when he said that we are surrounded by limitless possibility, but that we need to discern that possibility for ourselves. And so for the month of October, we've been gathering together for a journey and adventures in faith. And I want to acknowledge our committee that worked so hard to draw together the content and put so much love into it for us. And today we're focused on the wisdom of discernment. And so right now, I wonder if you just drop into your own life and consideration and see what is it in your life that you want to bring greater discernment to, that you could use some guidance and that you'd want to tap into that limited possibility for. And you can hold that in your heart as we go right now into a meditative song, a moment of silence, and a beautiful prayer from our Reverend Carol Wilkie.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
What an absolute joy it is to come together in prayer this morning, to just take a moment out of our morning and be in that stillness and that silence. To absolutely know that God is present everywhere. In this beautiful morning, in the atmosphere outside, and the snow that's starting to fall on the Rocky Mountains, in the beautiful changing of the leaves. God is present in all things. And we know that truth for ourselves as well, as we just take this moment to turn within, to center on our heart, to know that that very powerful presence of God is animating us, is expressing as us. And we soften into that, recognizing that those qualities of the divine, compassion, kindness, peace, love, joy, all exist within us. And so we just take this moment this morning to remember that we are these amazing emanations of spirit, and that all the peace and the comfort and the healing of God is available to us in every moment. We know this for our world, for all circumstances and situations, that peace is present. And we feel that in our hearts and know it in our minds. And we speak a word of this truth for all humanity and the entire planet. And so this morning I am so grateful. I'm grateful to know these truths. I am grateful for this beautiful, supportive community of Mile High Church, where miracles happen every day. I am so thankful for Reverend Zamira and her uplifting and heartfelt message. And I know that it enriches us, it enlivens us, and it changes our perspective. And so for this and so much more, I'm so grateful. And I know as I release these truths and this prayer into that beautiful alchemy of love and law, that all is well because all is God, and so it is.
Walking on an old road, singing a new song, bouncing back and forth in time, and I'm trying just to hum along, while these mystical connections, they keep happening to me. I finally got the gates unlocked, and I'm running free. We are one ocean. The waves roll on and never stop. One ocean. And the ocean is in every drop. One ocean. We are one ocean. And the ocean is in every drop, in every drop.
Ignatius of Loyola said, "Discernment is not simply a matter of distinguishing right from wrong. It is the ability to detect what is truly good from what seems attractive but leads away from God's greater glory." This week's Adventure in Faith nautical symbol is the compass. It is all about activating our inner guidance system to navigate our life journey in a spiritually oriented way. Staying grounded and centered and focused on God helps us to guide our decisions in life. Right now, we are going to join together for a brief centering prayer that comes to us from the Christian contemplative tradition. So first, we begin by taking a breath and maybe taking your fingers and placing it in your heart center and breathing in and breathing out. And now we breathe in through our heart. Breathing in and breathing out through your heart center. Becoming completely available to the divine presence within and listening to that small, still voice that speaks. Breathe in and breathe out. And now focus on the word serenity. And take that word and breathe it into your heart and breathe it out through your heart. And if anything unlike serenity comes into your awareness, allow it to float by and breathe in your heart and breathe out serenity. One more breath in. And on this out breath, we release this meditation, this prayer, sensing our inner guidance activated and available. And so it is.
Well, now we've made it to the future, and everybody's got a camera, and we can watch the world develop scene by scene. Now that we can see each other, who will we become together? Can we find room on each other's screen? And now we're staring down into our hands, talking with our thumbs, but it's so hard to look each other in the eye. These machines will never see us or give us what will free us. For this we must look inside. We can build a world together that works for everyone. Let this be the place we start. Let's build bridges, not walls, round our hearts, my friend. Let's build bridges, not walls, around our hearts. Now it's politics and television and all this strange communication with a steady dose of high anxiety. We've been focusing on our divisions, losing sight of all our visions. It just comes down to you and me. We can find a place to make a stand, still reach out an open hand, look beyond our differences and see. When we take the time to slow it down and use our hearts to look around, we know that we've got all we need. In every tribe and nation, there are stories of great masters who show us how to walk a path to God. And if we follow in their footsteps, we will learn to love each other find a truth we all can stand upon. We can build a world together that works for everyone. Let this be the place we start. Let's build bridges, not walls, round our hearts, my friend. Let's build bridges, not walls, around our hearts. Let's build bridges, not walls, round our hearts, my friend. Let's build bridges, not walls, around our hearts, around our hearts. Thank you, the Mile High All-Stars.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. B, and Randy, Bijou, Larry on drums today, Tom and Rob. I love their music. It always brings me right into the heart. And so that's where we start this morning. And I want to begin by inviting you to a really special service that we have coming up. It's our next interfaith service. It's going to take place on Wednesday, October 30th at 7 p.m. in the Vote Auditorium. And it is our observance of Dia de los Muertos. And it's a time where we can gather together and bring our ancestors, spiritual teachers, those that have gone before us, into our heart and celebrate both the gifts that they have brought to us and also the legacy that we want to take from that forward into the world. And it's a really sacred night. It is steeped in the tradition of Dia de los Muertos, so I hope that you will join practitioner Rocio Self and myself for that evening. And so today, we continue on our journey, this adventure in faith, and our theme has been finding oneness in an ocean of uncertainty. And today we are particularly focused on the wisdom that comes from spiritual discernment. Discernment has everything to do, really, with our spiritual perception. It's that way that we get in touch with our inner voice. It's about our sense of relationship and connection with the divine, and how we tend that in our daily life. And how do we really become, through our connection, through our awareness, through our consciousness, this channel for good in the world? You know, it can be really hard when we feel tossed about by tidal waves of doubt and storms of fear. I know for myself, those usually come in the middle of the night when I wake up and all the things that have been kind of bubbling below the surface during the day have a chance to really rise to the surface of my awareness so that I can face them in that quiet time. And it's about how do we face all of the uncertainty around us when thoughts of the unknown begin to cloud our ability and our connection, that sense of guidance that comes when we feel connected to the divine within us. You know, in ancient times, mariners, navigators would pick up a spyglass and they would look out on the horizon. And they would be looking for any sense of danger. They'd be looking for hazards that were coming in the way. Maybe it's a landmass. Maybe it was an iceberg, or maybe it was another ship. But it allowed them to peer far out so that they could see, and they could chart their course, and they could magnify the path forward. Nearly 15 years ago, I found myself in an ocean of uncertainty in my work as a school psychologist. I had been working for several years in an inner city school. It was an elementary school, and it had 650 students. And the mental health needs in this school were so great that we even had a padded room so that when children became distressed, that they would have a safe place to be able to return to calm. And every single day, that room was used several times a day. And the stress was so high and the resources were so low. And I was beginning to feel a deep sense of uncertainty. And that stress that was coming from my work was beginning to bubble over into my family life at home. And about that time, wouldn't you know it, a friend called me up and she said, you know, I have this ticket to Costa Rica for spring break and I'm not able to go. It's this yoga retreat. Would you be interested in going in my place? And I said, well, yeah, I think I would. I think that would be perfect timing. And before I knew it, I was dropped in the rainforests of Costa Rica, and I was all alone, didn't know anyone, and I was on a yoga excursion with a group of folks from Canada. It was great. It was great. We were doing yoga under waterfalls and we were hiking through the rainforest. We were singing spiritual songs in the rivers at night and the volcano was erupting. The lava with its geothermal warming was heating up the pools where we sat. And we would sit under the stars every single day. And it was in that pause, it was in that respite, a respite that I wasn't even sure that I knew that I needed, that I began to get in touch with the fact that my nervous system had been on complete, full alert. And I had been in survival mode for so long that that my vision was clouded and I was uncertain. You know, this trip turned out to be the eye in the storm of my life. And I wonder if you've ever had those moments where life has sent you little glimpses along the way. Life has sent you little hints of slowing down, invitations, if you will, but that perhaps you've been so stirred up or you've been in so much stress and so much worry that you've missed the signs. That was what I was feeling in that moment. You know, I feel like the signs are always raining down around us, but it's really difficult to pick them up when we're in such a state of turmoil. And I remember on a day nearing the end of this adventure that I sat amongst the trees and the birds, and I put my headphones on so that I could really go within. And in my headphones, I put a song by Deva Premal and Mitten called So Much Magnificence. And I remember I spent maybe hours, I don't know how long it was, but I fully fell into the sounds and the song and I sang with them. I sang along with them until I began to really feel a little touch of magnificence. And it took that immersion and that calming down so that I could slowly begin to turn my boat in a different direction. You know, I heard it here for the first time. Many years ago, I was in the Vote Auditorium on a Sunday and Dr. Roger was given the message. And I remember, till this day, till this moment actually, I remember it because he was talking about the nautical concept of trim tabbing. And I remember him saying that, you know, if you're a sailor, you can't simply, if you decide you want to go in a different direction, you can't simply turn the wheel of the boat because you know what'll happen? It'll capsize and you'll be in the water. And he said, if you want to go in a different direction, and if you want to go in a different direction in your life, he said, you've got to trim tab degree by degree, ever so slightly, in another direction. That's how you change the course. That's how you begin to create differently in your life. Discernment is like that. And on the way home from that adventure, it became super clear that I was going to have to take a stand. I was going to have to get out of the uncomfortability and I was going to have to start. We were called child advocates in those days. I was going to have to start advocating for the needs that were needed in the school, with the staff, with the students, and we were going to have to turn this boat around. You know, discernment is absolutely like trim tabbing. It's about those subtleties of spirit, those nuances of the message. It's about what happens when we're able to listen, to really turn within, to begin to sense, to feel the slight divine impulses, those nudges. And I wonder, just as we go back to what I was saying in the welcome, if there's a place in your life right now that you are feeling that need for nudges, for more guidance, for clarity. And I wonder too, let's look together at how we might use tools of discernment to begin to slowly trim tab in another direction. Those tools are the compasses of our spiritual practice. They begin to help us to take the compass, which was also an essential mariner tool, and begin to chart a new course. And the first compass that I want to talk about this morning is the radical trust that comes through the compass of the heart. Cultivating radical trust is about all connecting in this center of our heart. You know, the heart, the North Star of our life, comes directly, that message comes directly when we begin to really tune into the center of the heart. There are many mystical traditions that actually say that this relationship with the divine is centralized in this very heart space. The Sufi tradition refers to the heart as a palace of the divine, or as a throne of God. So it can serve as our center of divine knowledge and begin to awaken within us that deeper spiritual perception. I've recently been inspired because someone, Rob, I think I saw him out there in the audience. He came into my spiritual practices a few weeks ago and he said, "Have you seen that movie, Harriet, on Netflix?" And I said, "Well, no, I went home. I thought that was a whisper from the divine. I went home that very night and I immersed in it. And I loved it so much that I bought the autobiography of Harriet Tubman, written by Kate Clifford Lawson. And I dove into 400 pages of Harriet's life. And what really came forward is that I was so blown away by the faith that this woman had and the interior relationship she had with God. You know, she was bestowed the term Moses, and she was guided. She was guided, and she would say it. She was guided to liberate herself from slavery, but also she was guided to support the liberation of 70 other folks, many of whom were her friends and family. And she completed 13 missions over the course of her life in order to support others. And think of the countless others that she inspired to begin to join the efforts of the Underground Railroad. She was an excellent conductor in that she began to use that insight, that inspiration from the divine in order to guide her path to freedom and to safety. So much of life appeared to be stacked against her. She was a woman. She was a woman of color. She was enslaved. She had suffered a life-threatening traumatic brain injury, which left her with temporal lobe epilepsy, and she lived in a world that was just downright dangerous every turn. She even went back to the very place that she had been enslaved in order to support others to freedom. That was probably the most dangerous place she could have ever gone back to. But in spite of that, again and again and again, she turned to a deeper sense of faith to guide her way. She spoke of her connection to nature, how she was guided by the stars. She spoke about how she could feel a mysterious, unseen presence in the middle of the forest in the darkness at night. She was in tune with those subtle messages of the divine within her. She was known to pray often. And she said, you know, when danger was near, my heart would go a flutter, flutter, and I knew I had to change course. And within her, she would hear, turn left. She would hear, keep walking through the river. Even when you don't know how deep it is, go forward. She knew. So much so that the people that were interviewed that had been supported by her on the Underground Railroad said that they felt she had a special charm in her connection with God's design and power, that it flowed through her. Thomas Garrett, a prominent abolitionist and eventual partner of Harriet's, was quoted in saying he had never met another person who had more confidence in the voice of God as spoken directly to her soul. So a question that I come to when I dive into the studies and the immersion in the lives of these masters who made such a difference for the lives of others around them and for the course of humanity, a question that I come to again and again is, what was it in their faith and in their practice of their faith that built such a fortitude in that inner relationship with the divine? And what I came to when I thought of Harriet was first and foremost, it was her sense of devotion. Devotion. She consistently turned to her prayerful practice. She was focusing on the development, the listening to, the channel that was developed between her and her inner North Star, which was her relationship with God. So I ask, how is our spiritual practice in our life? And where is it called to emerge even more with consistency, with practice each day? Through the Hindu tradition, we're given bhakti yoga. And bhakti, as you might know, means devotion. It means pure love and dedication to God. And yoga means union. So it is through that personal relationship and that practice that we're able to create that sense of devotion within ourselves. A while ago, there was a video circulating around on Facebook. Maybe you saw it. It was by Dr. Rob Kelly. He is known for his work in addiction. And he was sharing a really simple daily practice. He said, what would happen if you got up every day and you brushed your teeth with your non-dominant hand? You know why we do that? It's to awaken your brain and say, hey, something important's happening right here. Pay attention. New information. I want to code it in my brain. So you brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand, and then you take 10 really deep breaths to oxygenate your body. And then you look in the mirror. And you look in the mirror and you connect with your eyes to begin to sense that sense of the divine within. And you look right into your own eyes and you say, I love you. How would it be to begin to use that practice every day of devotion to really awaken that compass of your own heart in your life? This is very closely related to the second compass that I want to look at this morning, which is the compass of intuition, which is all about listening deeply to our body, to our heart, and to our minds. Intuition is born of the present moment. For ordination, I received a wonderful gift. It was a lovely book, perfect. It was a lovely book, and it was entitled The Dangerous Mystic. Doesn't that sound great? The Dangerous Mystic by Joel F. Harrington, which is all about the life of Meister Eckhart. Meister Eckhart was this German mystic who lived in the time of the Middle Ages. And this book takes you right into the Middle Ages so that you can begin to understand what it would have been like to be a preacher delivering messages during that time. And he spoke all about the absolute essence of God. And he referred to it as the isness of God, which can be touched through our awareness of the present moment. That's where that isness is. It's through bringing ourselves fully present to the right here, the right now, and using our senses to inform what is here. He emphasized that listening to our inner voice is the way that we begin to harvest spiritual wisdom in our life. And he also emphasized that every single common person and person, all persons, can do this for themselves. Do you see why that made him dangerous in his times? You can do it by yourself. You can have a relationship with the divine, and you can tend it through your spiritual practice. So one way to bring attunement to our bodies, hearts, and our minds in the present moment, one tool, is through somatic resourcing. And somatic resourcing is just about really bringing ourselves fully present into our bodies, beyond the stories, beyond the things happening in our mind, and becoming a witness to the sensations that are going on in there. Simply witnessing. Do you know how powerful it is when you begin to reestablish that connection within yourself, when you simply calm down and you go within and you sense a sensation? Maybe it's tension. Maybe it's joyfulness. Maybe it's a little sparkly energy somewhere, or maybe it's a sense of pain. But how powerful it is to go within, to witness that place, and to simply tell your body, I got that. I see it. I got that. Because what that does over time, as we train ourselves and allow this practice to move us from the outer to the inner world, what that does over time is that it begins to awaken within us a sense of connection, and with that comes a sense of safety, a sense of refuge. Oh, how we become so disconnected from this body source, particularly when we are in extreme stress, particularly when we are in times of uncertainty, that refuge within has to be built and reestablished, and it can be done so through this practice. You know, I saw an absolutely fabulous example of this yesterday at our youth department's trunk or treat. It was fabulous. I hope some of you were here for that. It was just out of this world amazing. And this community brings so much love to this event. It was just palpable in the room. And one of the things I noticed is that as part of that event, there was this little sandbox set off to the edge, and it was filled with sand, and there was all sorts of little treasures hidden within it. And there was someone overseeing this sandbox, and he said to me when I walked by, and he said, you know what? The adults and the kids alike are having a real good time with that today. They said, you know what else I've noticed? Is that it's not the treasures that's really the treasure itself. Yeah, those little worms or whatever the heck was it. I don't know what was in there. Those little squiggly things and stuff, little eyeballs and stuff. But anyway, even they said, you know what? People are transfixed with putting their hands in the sand and feeling those sensations. And kids are standing there for the longest time just so they can feel, so they can connect with those senses. So I encourage you this week. I encourage you to pay attention to your senses. And when you take the time, just a few moments, to pause, to go within and to check in with your body and to really connect and to also let your body know, hey, I got that. I feel that. And from that well of listening comes that sense, the compass of intuition. We're able to pick up on the subtleties that are sent our way. And that brings us to our final compass today, which is the compass of our true nature. It's that compass that is found within ourselves when we orient ourselves toward the divine within and toward the divine. When we orient, when we turn towards the divine. You know, Dr. Barry, he was singing so beautifully in his song about all the things that we have going on in our world, and that we are at a danger of losing our connection with one another if our connection becomes through these devices or through the spiritual, through the food that we're consuming, perhaps through media, through the things that are the information that is swirling all around us. And so this compass is about the discernment of paying attention to what we're consuming on a daily basis. What is it that we're reaching for? What is it that we're taking within and transmuting within ourselves? And how much of that brings a sense of the divine? Can we begin to turn towards that which feeds our emotional well-being, that which feeds our spiritual development, especially in these weeks where we feel within our country, within our nation, that things are stirred up, and it's the perfect timing to remember that we have the ability to align with and position ourselves by paying attention to what our spiritual food is. And when we forget, and when we fall down, and when we're feeling buffeted about by chaos and uncertainty and change, perhaps even then we can begin to turn towards something that reminds us of the divine, the vastness of the divine. You know, before this service started, I was backstage and Larry was telling me, who's a guest here playing the drums, he was saying, you know, sometimes I like to go out in the countryside and I like to stand out beneath the Milky Way and look up at it. And then he had this wonderful verse. And what I remember about that verse is he said, you know, it brings me to this sense of I am. That I amness that's all around me. You know, there's a constellation known as the Compass constellation, and it's known as Pyxis. And so I want you to think about the spiritual tools in your life are the compasses. The constellation of spiritual tools are your compasses that can help you to chart your course forward. They are your navigational instruments. And you can also go out in the night sky, gaze up with wonderment, understand that that is a reflection, a brilliant reflection of who you are, because the macro is always reflected in the micro. And so, Sufi teacher Irina Tweedy, I want to close with this thought from her. She said, if all of us only knew that the smallest act of ours, the tiniest thought, has such far-reaching effects as to set in motion, perhaps even, the motion that could shatter a galaxy. If we knew that deeply and absolutely, and if this realization could become engraved permanently in the center of our hearts, in our minds, oh, how mindful we would act, how mindful we would speak, how mindful we would show up, and how precious life would become in its integral oneness. Master teacher Jesus taught when he did the Sermon on the Mount, he said, let the eye be single. Let the eye be single. The light of the body is in the eye. And if the eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. We can all have that spiritual perception that comes from discernment, and we can move into the universe, the univision that comes from knowing that inner connection, and that all of us are a part of the ocean that is God. And so I want to close today with that very song from Deva Premal and Mitten. And so I invite you right now, right where you sit, to begin to settle in, to begin to breathe into your heart space, to connect inside, and to fall into your breath, allowing it to simply be gentle and to draw you present as we move into the beauty of this song, to feel the waves of magnificence all around us as Tom sings.
There is so much magnificence near the ocean, waving Waves are coming in, waves are coming in.
And orient yourself and your heart as we orient towards Spirit. We feel those waves of compassion, waves of gentleness, waves of joy.
There is so much magnificence near the ocean. Waves are coming in, waves are coming in.
Knowing that through our spiritual practice, we draw ourselves nearer to that sense of the divine within as we feel right now those waves of healing, waves of abundance, waves of love, waves of serenity.
There is so much magnificence near the ocean. Waves are coming in, waves are coming in. There is so much magnificence near the ocean. Waves are coming in, waves are coming in.
And so it is. And so now we take a few deep breaths as we move from that ocean of magnificence, and we move into our time of offering together. And this is a time where it's just so filled with it really touches my heart because I'm filled with so much gratitude for all the ways that everyone comes together so beautifully to support here at Mile High Church. And as Reverend Josh was talking about last week, this month of October has been our pledge drive. And as you came in, you might have been given a little pledge card. And we were explaining that this pledge card is one of the ways that we're able to chart our course here at Mile High, how we're able to plan into the future. And it's not something that you're locked into. It's not a bill or something, but it does, if you know what you're planning to give financially and share with Mile High Church, it is, all these cards are taken into our planning as we begin to put together programming and support the staff here and the youth programs such as yesterday and our choir and all of the staff here and the campus that we have here. It helps us to maintain it. It helps us to understand what it is that we're going to be planning with. So I hope that you will consider filling out a pledge card today and turning it in. We have a lot of celebration because since last week, we have doubled the number of pledge cards that have come in. We went from 117 to 239, and now we have an amount pledged of $763,434. So we can really, so much gratitude for the generosity and the love that comes through your giving here in this community. And if you've also been here during the month of October, you know that we've been inviting congregants to join us up here to share about how Mile High has made an impact in their life. And today I want to invite two of our beloved congregants up here, Rocio and Brian Self, and they are going to share with you. I'm going to give them a microphone And they are going to share with you. They have been here at Mile High for many years. They're going to share with you the impact it has made for them.
Hello, everyone. So back in 2005, my life was, well, I'll say a mess. I had been fired from my job. One of my businesses was failing, and a business coach recommended that I go to Business Honoring Spirituality here at Mile High. So I was attending several different meetings, and one specific meeting I came in, and there was a minister that was speaking, and he kept telling everybody, "You look marvelous." And I remember, I remember Dr. Lloyd so well, and I started meeting with him. And after meeting with him so many times, he said, "Brian, we do have a church over here, and you might want to go to some services." So imagine that, a minister actually wanting me to go to service. So Rocio and we did go to service, and like Dr. Barry's song, I knew I was home. Really, at that point, my heart, and at this point, my heart is so much more open. I've been able to connect with so many awesome people here. But the most important thing that Mile High has helped me do is have the heart of service and really be of service to a community that I love. So thank you, Mile High. You've made a huge difference in my life. So, Rocio.
Yes, right? Yes, it was about, I'm thinking that it was around this time, the Adventures in Faith happening, right? That we started coming, and we brought our daughter, Camila, with us, which she spoke last year around this time, right? Camila is watching us online. Hello, Camila. And so she's going to be 21 already next month. So we've been coming for quite a while, right? And so some of the things that have been really crucial for us is the recognition that all people, right? All people, all faiths, all traditions are welcome, right? Which allows also for us to try to get along better because we get to practice, right? We get to practice. So it's been really important for us. And so after Camila and the family came to Mile High Church, and I began volunteering at the youth ministry because Mama Bear needed to keep an eye on little girl growing, right? So I volunteered there for about 5 years. And then after that, this little girl in here was like, you kind of need to grow up too, right? So I began taking the practitioner course, and I became a licensed practitioner here. And it's been now 9 years that I've been a practitioner, and it's been such a privilege to serve and give back in this way, to come here and serve and volunteer, and to keep on growing and expanding with a beautiful community that continues to open eyes to deepen and practice. And so I go home and I practice and serve, and then I come here and I practice and serve, and I do that full-time job. That's what I do. So I love it that I can do that, and thank you for the support and the love and all those many classes that it takes to grow and evolve and to continue doing it, right? To continue doing it. So thank you. I appreciate this safe grounding and loving community. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Rocio and Brian. And they have brought so much love to our community, and just so very grateful for the two of you and the ways that you show up to serve. And I wonder if you would feel comfortable leading us in our offertory affirmation right now.
Let's do it. Yes. So let's just connect to our hearts. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate.
And so it is.
Amen.
Thank you both.
Anybody out there got a dog at home? This is a song called the Dog Song, which I want to dedicate to the dogs that are living with band members. How challenging that can be. You're a friend's best friend, I know it's true. When I get down, I can count on child. A little bit broken and a little bit wild, and you're okay when you spend your day alone. That you're always glad to see me coming home. And you don't need words to show your heart. Your love shines through when the road gets dark, and you don't hold grudges from yesterday, 'cause you know forgiveness is the only way. And you're okay when you spend your day alone. But you're always glad to see me coming home. Got no plans today but to walk out into the sunshine. Don't matter where the road might go, I know we're gonna be just fine. And I'm so glad that we found each other. We're different species from the one great mother. We share a language as old as time. You calm me down and you ease my mind, and you're okay when you spend your day alone. Call anybody on the telephone, and you're always glad to see me coming home. When you see me coming home, see me coming home. When you see me coming home. Thank you. Great being here. Mile High All-Stars. How about these guys?
And they are that, the All-Stars. Thank you, Barry. No one sings that song like you. And what about Samira's beautiful talk today? And if you're here for the first time, we welcome you from our heart and hope you come back again and again. And if you have any questions, I'm going to be out in the lobby in the Welcome Center, so look for me. And also our practitioners coming down front, they are here for you to hold that place of heart. So if prayer is calling to you, make yourself available to one of them, and your week will be brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patty. And Reverend Jackie, you have an announcement for us.
This thing, I can't just yell out there at you. Our food drive is starting next week, so you may have gotten a bag as you came in the door. If you didn't, please pick up a bag, because I want to share with you something from the Action Center, who are the people that we are supporting with this drive. And for those of you online, I know you can't pick up a bag, but you can go online to the food drive event, click it, and make a monetary donation. So here's what we have from I love telephones. All right, so here's what they said. We are incredibly grateful for the much-needed food donations, as our grocery shelves are pretty bare more and more on a regular basis. Thus, with a heavy heart, after much deliberation, our programs team made the difficult decision not to hold the Thanksgiving food distribution event this year. Instead, we are choosing to prioritize filling our grocery shelves throughout the winter months. The amount of food we are getting is down. Our cost to purchase food continues to go up, and while we do have funds to purchase food, it is not keeping pace with the increased need. So they are so thrilled that for 3 Sundays we're going to be collecting this food that will support the Action Center and all of the needs that they have. So please help us out, whether it's with a monetary donation or bring food. They just ask that it not be anything in a glass container.
Thank you so much, Jackie. And also today, if you remember, Kay Adams was here last week. She is holding a fabulous workshop on dementia right today after the service. And it impacts so many people that we love and that we know. And she has so much information to share. So I hope you'll consider joining her right after the service today. And also on the 26th of October, we are going to have our Healing Light circles, our prayer circles, healing intention circles. What is that? Did I get it? Finally? We're getting there. We're getting warmer. But anyway, it's a wonderful, these prayer circles are a way to connect and to hold an intention for someone, for their health and for their healing, and at the same time to move that energy through yourself in community. So I hope you'll join them. And now, if you will all please rise and join me for the benediction. I want you to repeat after me. I am gathering an ocean of magnificence in my life. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you. And may you move that out into your life this week. And so it is.